96.7 KCAL rocks it. It's time to talk some sports with our guy, Pep. Let's do it. Pep, what's up?
Here we've got NFL camp starting. And guys, I just want everyone to remember that we've got Hard Knocks covering not only the Rams and the Chargers. So not only is this going to be different with two teams being followed, both in Los Angeles, both moving into the new stadium, but can you imagine what Hard Knocks is going to look like with the Rams and the Chargers as they go through all this, COVID-19 protocol and what the practices are going to look like, and the access that these camera crews might get that we're not going to really get inside training camps. Fans, public can't just roll up to training camps and watch practices like they used to. Like, this is such a crazy time. And that first episode, it's scheduled for August 11th, assuming it rolls out on time.
If anything, we need Hard Knocks more than ever because people can't go and see training camps like they normally would, so we need to view it through Hard Knocks. If anything, too, it should be interesting as hell.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Hard Knocks is cool anyway because we get an inside look at different training camps kind of year to year to year, but this is kind of the year where training camps are going to be so different from team to team to team. You're going to get to see two different teams within the same city, how they're going to handle this thing. I'm sure it's going to be a lot different, so that's going to be kind of cool to see.
I think so, too.
Yeah, because obviously, the NFL is going to have their own set of rules that you got to follow, for all the training camps. But each individual team, like the facilities are going to look a little bit different. You might have more staff on one team compared to another to, make sure some of these things happen. So, yeah, it's going to be really interesting. I'm really excited to see what these episodes are going to look like for the Rams and the Chargers as now we get NFL camps going. And, again, they're going to look so different.
Yeah, you might even have your head coach test positive for COVID, which happened to my Philadelphia Eagles today.
40. I was going to bring that up. Yeah, Doug Peterson, who tested positive. And again, this is another case of where the person, Doug Peterson in this case, did not know they had COVID-19. It sounds like he had no symptoms, but the NFL is just doing a lot of tests to make sure everyone's going to, pop negative. And he came up with a positive.
Now we know Super Bowl rings do not prevent COVID.
No, they don't.
No, or what, NFC East titles, because they are the reigning champions in that division. We had a couple quarterbacks, Matt Stafford of the Lions, Gardner Minshew of the Jacksonville Jaguars. They both got put on the IR for COVID, but the NFL is saying if you get put on the IR, it's either because you tested positive or you were in close proximity of someone else who tested positive, and it's just a precaution.
Yeah.
So, just in case.
Yeah, not quite saying which one because of the whole HIPAA and the doctor, all that. They can't really release exactly who has COVID, so that's why they're saying if a player or coach or whoever is on the COVID list, it either means that they had it or they're just exposed to somebody who had it. They're not really specifying which.
Correct, yeah. A whole new HIPAA rule, right? Because you don't want to roll out medical information that shouldn't be out there. So it's their way of saying they're not at practice today and they're not hurt, so...
Right.
You guys figure it out. We've got more to get to. NBA hockey is underway as well, and Major League Baseball. It's all brought to you by Matheson Gas, the gas professionals. 3 locations across the Inland Empire to get your gas. Refill that propane tank. Also, your welding supplies and cooling supplies. And again, 3 locations across the IE, Fontana, Rancho Cucamonga, and Riverside. And you can go online. That's MathesonGas.com. That is the website. Get your gas at the Gas Pros. Matheson Gas. Now, the NBA, we're coming down this, final couple games of this regular season on the restart before we get to the playoffs, and the Lakers are trying to lock in that number 1 seed in the Western Conference. They got Utah tonight. They can do it tonight. It looks like it's a foregone conclusion, guys, that Lakers will be 1 and Clippers will be 2 as we go to the NBA playoffs.
I think you just got to get to the dance if you want to dance. So, they look like they're in their spots to do their thing.
They did the thing when they had to go head up against the Clippers on the rebooting night.
Mm-hmm.
They got their butts handed to them over the weekend, but again, there's only a couple games. I think the biggest thing that we're kind of seeing over the weekend is stay healthy, both from the COVID-19 and with injuries, because these guys who are restarting, we're seeing a lot of injuries, and a really bad one where a player tore his ACL last night, too.
Hey, Pep, Riverside's own Reggie Miller was warning about this at the very beginning. He was like, hamstrings, ligaments, these guys need to be really careful because they have not been playing like they normally have been, not been putting the pressure that they normally put. There's nothing like game pressure.
Yeah. No, you guys are right. And maybe this is beyond basketball, too. Like, take any of the professional sports. whether it's injuries, whether it's COVID-19. What is the roster of your team going to look like once you get to the playoffs or at a certain point later in the season? Because it could look a lot different than where you started at.
It goes to show you, 40, the team that's the most disciplined about this has a great chance.
It sounds like over in the baseball world, you might not even know your roster when you wake up for game day.
No, but you're right.
Have a player just take off in the middle of the night.
Which means if one of those teams can be super strict all the way, baby.
Yeah, seriously. Maybe this is the year that it's not the team that has the most talent. It's the team who has the best protocols and supporting staff to make sure everyone's staying safe. Like, it could come down to that.
Bill O'Brien of the Houston Texans already said that. I think the team that's going to be the most disciplined about this has the best chance.
Could happen. That could be exactly right. So we got the NBA bubble. We've got 2 NHL bubbles in Edmonton and Toronto right now. Hockey started over the weekend as well. They got games going. And guys, this will be the first time since 1925 that all of the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs will be in Canada, none in the United States, all north of the border.
That's right. Less of a problem up there.
I saw a clip from one of the games in Edmonton where right in the middle of the game, the lights just shut out for just a quick second.
And everyone was ripping on Edmonton like, is Edmonton supposed to be a dump or something?
Right.
Yeah, that's what I heard, I guess.
But they got hockey. They're one of the hockey hubs. They did something right.
Well, they had to. They stole Wayne Gretzky for them. They've never recovered.
No, that's right. Yeah, they probably hate L.A. and all the United States for that move, taking Wayne Gretzky away. So we got the 2 hockey hubs up there. We got NBA and MLS at Disney World, and then Major League Baseball right now doing it at all the home stadiums. And for the LA teams, the Angels and the Dodgers, really a tale of 2 pitchers right now, because if you look at the Dodgers, Clayton Kershaw made his season debut yesterday. He looked great. Almost 6 innings, no runs, 6 Ks. He was fantastic on the mound.
So he pulled himself together. You think maybe they did a little sandbagging? Huh? Hey, he's hurt. And then, oh my God, it's a miracle.
He was like the
like
man again.
Fight. Confidence.
And what's funny is if you look Dodger fans on like social media, they're like, hey, regular season, Clayton Kershaw is back. Not just Clayton Kershaw, regular season Clayton Kershaw is back and better than ever.
When he's at his best.
He is at his best in the regular season. But when you look across the freeway to the Halos and Shohei Ohtani, man, he made his second start. Not only was it not good, but after the game, he said he's got pain in the elbow where he had his Tommy John surgery, which is bad news for the Halos, who are in last place. On top of it all, the Halos are off to a bad start compared to the Dodgers, who are in first, 7 wins on the season.
I bet you he doesn't pitch and he just becomes a hitter.
I say at this point, do you just shut him down?
Center fielder with a cannon or whatever.
Man, I don't know, because this Tommy John surgery, because of the pandemic, because of the delay to the start of the baseball season, we thought, wow, that's extra time for him to heal, to rehab, to get the body where he needs it to be, so when he can rejoin the Angels, he'll be ready to go. Like, he had those extra couple of months, and now it looks like maybe that wasn't even enough because he's got pain in his elbow. That's not good.
They said in training camp he loves himself some video games. Maybe he's still a little too distracted with the Fortnite.
Maybe too much. It happens to these kids, doesn't it, Pep? Tell them how to get your stuff.
He is a kid. Inland Sports, guys, check it out. We're all over social media. If you want to talk some local Inland Empire sports, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We got the YouTube channel as well, Inland Sports.
Thanks, Pep.